What is up, y'all? It's gonna be us two today. The others could not join, but the recording will be in the library. I'm gonna make sure, damn sure we're recording here though. Okay, we are. Cool. Oh, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot. What's going on?
Nothing much. Justin, long time no talk, bro.
Right.
All right, so I want to go over scripting today because it's super important. And Raul, what kind of deals are you doing right now? Like, what's your business? All that stuff. Let's do an intro real quick.
Well, like I said, I got a couple of birds under my belt. I'm just a beginner, so I jumped on here to really jump feet first, learn how to talk to sellers, get scripts, and move, forward like that.
Hell yeah. And dude, I'm so excited for you to be here. And Justin, just so you know, Raul knows, you get introduce yourself if you wouldn't mind, and like what experience you have and all that.
What's up, man? Actually, zero experience. I'm fresh, newbie.
Perfect. Hell yeah. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I had to learn all this stuff the hard way. You know, no formal training at first, and trying to figure out how to not get hung up on these sellers, how to make a good deal, how to talk to sellers that actually need it for me to help solve their problems. And I can't tell you how many calls I've been on. So I'm glad to give y'all a super simple script to do this. I'm going to give it to you in script form as well, which will be in the group. But I want to go through it here with y'all. All right, so whenever you get leads, and we're going to go through marketing next on the next call for leads. But before y'all spend any money whatsoever, I want you to be very fluent with talking to a seller because I want your dollar to go the farthest. I want you to get contracts right out the gate. So whether you're going to, those are like going to be a badass wholesale, you know, like a buy and resell, or you might wholesale it. You know, either way, I want you to get contracts. I want you to make money, get the best bang for your buck. So when you talk to a seller, this is how I want it. And I'm going to give you this in word format too, but this is exactly how I want it every single time. Like you're never going to deviate, ever, 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 ever. You're going to be so confident you could do this in your sleep. All right. They answer, hey, is this Josh? Yeah, it's Josh. Cool. You fill out a form on my website to sell your property. Are you still interested in selling? Literally, it's going to be the same intro every single time. If it's a pay-per lead online, if it's mail, hey, you called us about a mailer we sent you. It's always going to be the same. Are you still interested in selling? So what I'm doing is I'm confirming it's them that I'm talking to, because you want to make sure you're not sitting on the phone with somebody forever that's not who you need to talk to. And you're confirming that they want to sell, because you don't want to waste your time. Your time is super valuable. Yes, I want to sell. Cool. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Let them talk. What you want to do, and if you don't have the address, what's the address? All right, pull up the address. If you do, how much do you want for it? Get that right out the gate. So, sorry, before, tell me a little about what's going on. How much do you want for it? Go ahead and ask them what they want for it right out the gate. You want to know. And it seems awkward to go right in for the jugular doing that. I didn't used to do it. I used to wait till the end, but this will like cut your conversation in half, and it'll give you more time to run comps so you can actually get a good idea of the property, which we're going to do comp training too. We'll get into that, but I just really want to make sure you can talk to sellers. How much do you want for it? Great. Tell me about the property. All right. They're going to be talking their ass off, most of them. All right. Let them talk. And then they're going to stop. They're going to say, well, we moved in here 30 years ago. Kids grew up, blah, 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 blah. Ask open-ended questions, meaning if they aren't going into a lot of detail, meaning what do you mean? Like they're going to say, well, it could use some updates. Well, what do you mean by update? Oh, the floors kind of suck. Well, what do you mean by they suck? Oh, the roof doesn't leak. What do you mean it doesn't leak? And then they're going to elaborate. This whole time you're going to be running comps. I use something called PropStream, but hell, you could use Redfin. PropStream's like $50. I would get it, but we're going to do a tutorial on how to use that too. This is all drinking through a fire. Today, I just want you knowing how to talk to a seller. And I'm going to go through some live calls of mine also, so you can hear them. And you're going to be like, oh, he went through that with us. So open-ended dialogue. And then most of the time, they're not going to be at your price. There's a few different, in the industry, I like to call them buckets, but like, are they motivated and is it the right price? Motivation's there, cool. Not the right price. Motivation's there, close to the right price, cool. Either way, they're going to tell you their motivation. They're gonna say, well, we gotta move, whatever. They're gonna tell you if you keep asking open-ended questions. Make sure you know their motivation. Make sure you got a decent picture of the home in your mind. So now you're at the point to where you need to close the deal. So this is when you educate the buyer or the seller, rather. You're gonna educate them. So they're usually gonna be quite a bit off your price because we all want to sell stuff for more. We want to get the most out of everything. Like me included. If I'm selling this mouse, I want to get the most I can out of it. I'm selling something, so educate them. Well, the house down the street sold, in the twos, low twos. You're wanting mid twos, but you said that I got to do some work. So, let me walk you through my numbers. Some of them you need to walk them through your numbers, which I'll get y'all a calculator to do that too. But essentially, if you're buying and reselling a property, it's 70% of ARV or market value, 70% of market value minus repair. What that means is where you could sell that property at in 60 days or less minus repair. All right. But I'll give y'all a calculator for that too. If you end up, if it's not going to work as a wholesale, you can wholesale it, to make some money on that lead. And that's going to be 70% of ARV minus repairs minus the fee. And we're going to have this recording and I'm going to have some documentation for y'all to refer back to. But I want to stop and ask some questions because we're not through this whole thing yet. Raul, what do you got?
Oh, I didn't have any questions. Like I said, I've caught my properties. I've done a couple birds and I buy 70% minus repair value.
Perfect.
That's my offer. And the way I've been finding my deals, to be honest, I've been getting them off of like Zillow. Just call realtor, throw my offer. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah. Well, you just started. So how many do you have to call to get a deal? Or I guess you've done 2 deals, so you don't really have that metric yet, right?
Yeah, I really don't. Like I said, I have 4 rentals plus, my personal home. So the way I actually got into it was bought a house in San Marcos and I was working up in Austin and I just started renting out my rooms to the guys that I worked with. And that one kind of just take care of itself. And I wasn't educated on how to buy real estate. And it took maybe about 1.5 years to really educate myself. But I got to the point where I need to be able to talk to sellers to get the real deals that are out there. I kind of figured it out and I wanted to move everything along. And you do have to have money to feed your business.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend maybe going to Speed Delete and going to the Coupon Club. It's like $29 a lead. Have you been on there before?
No, I haven't. The only thing I've ever had is PropStream, and I canceled it out. I was thinking about using Deal Machine. They told me you can call from there, and you don't have to skip trace anything.
Yeah, you can. I'm testing a mail campaign out in Deal Machine. I've had a few calls. I'm not too impressed yet. I interviewed the CEO. He's a good dude. I like what they're doing. I like PropStream so far the best, but you could use whatever you want. I like PropStream because it's all in one for dispo and everything too. But also, I recommend getting some leads from some like super motivated leads. Like maybe buy 10 for $29, spend 300. I think you get a deal for Speed Delete.
Yeah, I heard a lot of what you were saying. If you would have started, at the beginning, and I'm basically at the beginning. The way you told you had bought 50 properties and you just bought them, like burning them, kind of the same thing I'm doing. Yeah. And you would go the other route by, getting zero seller financing, things of that nature.
And I would have bought, instead of like so many single family, I would have maybe for portfolio's sake bought 1 door and then a duplex, then a tri, then a quad, then or maybe like an 8plex and then 16 and then 32, then 60. I would have went that way because it's the same amount of work, same amount of headache to get. I just keep doubling up is what
That's kind of what I figured too. I had bought one in Uvalde and I knew that market's a small market, it wasn't going to appreciate. So I got a decent deal on it. And what I did is I let the guy rent for me for 1 year and then I did a seller finance at 10.5%. And I noticed that took everything off of me. I told him, like, you're responsible for maintenance, you're responsible for everything else. All I do is collect on that payment now.
Yeah, I love that, dude. Yeah, you got that creative bone. Yeah, and any single families I buy these days are like 0% interest seller finance. That's the only, which I bought a lot this year, not meaning to. It's just doing this business, talking to so many sellers, you're like, well, crap, this is the best fit
Yeah.
for both of us, and that's just how it goes. You can't pick and choose. but that's from all motivated leads. You know, I started out in high dollar leads also, and if I knew what I knew now, like I could just go pay $30 for like a phenomenal lead that filled out a form, please buy my house, that I could
See,
go
I didn't know that. I don't know that.
yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying. Like you go pay $29 right now, and somebody filled out a form and said, "Please buy my house." And
yeah,
if you go through that script we just did, you're probably getting a contract. You know, after a few conversations.
yeah. I listened to enough Bigger Pockets to where it's like, all right, I need to put this together
Yeah,
and get to, actually pay for a mentor and a coach, because
yeah,
that's where I was lacking, just being hard headed. I wanted to do it myself, and I know I can move faster by paying, because like I said, I've only been at this maybe 2.5 years,
yeah,
and just a snail's pace, and I want to speed it up.
yeah. I didn't have a coach for like 10 years, and then I just started spending like 15 G's a month on coaching. It like took me like so much further. Because I was the same way. I was like, oh, I'm buying stuff. Like, I can do stuff. But there's just so many better ways. Justin, do you have any questions so far?
No, man, just absorbing it all, man. Just taking notes, absorbing it.
Oh, yeah. So right now we were at the educating part of the script. This is really important because you're going to be bringing the sellers down to earth. Because they're all going to want way more. You're going to be bringing them down to earth. These are the comps. You're going to be reasoning. You want to do a deal that's a win-win. You don't want to like get over on somebody, but you got to you have a business to run. So you have to make a margin. And I just like to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it today. Hey, these are selling for this. You told me all this got to be done. I got to put 40K into it. And I'm going to have like 10 to 12% closing costs between the buy and sell. This is why I got to be at this number. Does that make sense? Well, no, I really need this. And if you got to get creative with them, well, do you have a mortgage? Which PropStream will tell you if they have a mortgage on it. So you could have already known, hey, they don't have a mortgage on this thing. How about this? I noticed you don't have a mortgage. Maybe you'll hold a note. And on a payment, I'll offer be half of whatever I can rent it for. So if it'll rent for $2,000 a month, I'll say, hey, why don't you hold a note at your price for $1,000 a month? I see it'll rent for 2,000. Give me 100 months. You just negotiated a 0% deal. Or you could look up their mortgage on PropStream or whatever you want. And you could say, hey, how much do you want to walk away with? Well, I want to walk away with 40 grand. Well, you're telling me you want 250, but you only owe 150. I just offered you 200. You're going to walk away with 50 grand. They'll be like, oh, damn. You know, that happens a lot. People don't even do the math. They have this number in their head. So I really like to find the root cause. Last but not least, the most important part of this conversation, most important, and this is the part all my closers struggle with, because like they're really good, that you get the script down pretty quick. Like you walk them through everything, but then it's the end, like your expectation. And that's really important because you're going to end up sending contracts. If you don't do this part, you're going to end up sending contracts out and they're not going to sign them. And you're going to be chasing people and they're never going to return your calls. And you're going to be like, why the hell do I have all these contracts out that aren't getting signed? It's because you didn't explain next steps. You know, like, all right, so here's what's next. My transaction coordinators, whatever, Trisha, she's going to send you the contract. Or if you're going to send it, be honest. Hey, I'm going to send you the contract. Whatever you're going to do next, I'm going to send you the contract. I'll go over it with you right now if that's good with you, or I can call you back after I send it. Most of them are going to say, yeah, call me back after you send it. And by the way, hop on the phone with them to go through it. It's an easy couple page contract. I'll put in the group for y'all to use. I'm going to send you this contract. We're going to schedule inspections after we both sign. What's a good day for us to do inspection? Now, whether those inspections are another buyer that you're vetting and bringing in there to give you an offer, you're paying for inspections because you're like, I'm taking this deal down, I'm reselling it. Like, I'm going to make some good money. Either way, find out a good day and time. That way, they already know you're sending them contract. They need to sign that sucker today. You're already like setting them up for the inspections. All right, we're also going to send this to the title company. So title company is going to be, messaging all of us because they got to get the title clear for us to be able to purchase this. They know everything now. And also, I'm going to be in communication with you this whole process. So that's like the most important part of this call that most people miss. And that's why you hear all the time, I used to be victim to it a lot. You know, I didn't know. Like, I get everybody. I'm a talker. I get everybody to say yes. They'd be like, "Oh, yes, awesome," and then I chase them for a week to try to get a contract signed. I never painted the picture, you know, of what was going to happen. So they got cold feet. What I'm gonna do is, and y'all ask questions if you have any. What I'm gonna do is share my screen here. I want to share a call with y'all. Let's see, I just sent this. Let's see, where are my recordings? Boom. I'm gonna share a call with y'all so you could hear the script, and I'll break it down so you could hear what's going on here. Let's see, where am I at? I used to go high level for my CRM. It's just kind of what I like. All right, so I'll just go to a call that I made earlier here. I'm actually getting this signed when we get off the call, I think. And tell me if y'all could hear it too. Can y'all hear that?
Hey, Crystal, this is Travis.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I'm on my website to sell your
I'm
property.
gonna start it over since I was yapping.
Hey, Crystal, this is Travis. You filled out a form on my website to sell your property.
Yes, sir.
What's the address?
It's 9222 Lamar Avenue,
What city's that in?
Odessa, Texas 79765. Sorry.
All right, how much you want for it?
I was looking at around, I think it's estimated like 240 something. I was trying to at least get like 220.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what you got going on.
Just so you know, I'm only $5,000 off of where I need to be right now. So she's already like a very motivated seller from my Facebook ad.
Okay.
I just recently went through a layoff, and my kids moved out, so it's a lot of cost for a little bit of person. So I'm just trying to get rid of it fast without having to worry about putting it on the market and all that other stuff.
That
It's
makes
super
sense.
expensive for one person.
Yeah, I've worked out in Odessa a long.
I'm gonna point out something just so y'all don't know it, but you hear all that silence after she talks. Like, listen to it. I always wait and make sure they're completely done talking. Like, completely done talking.
A long time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
To cut ties with having to have any sort of responsibility financially here.
what kind of shape the home in?
I mean, it's in good shape. I am getting I'm probably gonna get the roof redone. There was hail here in June, and so I'll probably have that done here soon. But other than that, I mean, it's standard.
Numbers here. So the only thing that needs to be redone is the roof, but insurance is doing that.
Yeah.
When are they planning on doing that? Do you know?
I'm not too sure. Here soon within the next month or so.
Okay, I'm assuming.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just letting you know I've already sent the check over to be endorsed by my mortgage company. So
And what they gotta say is way more important than what I gotta say. So I'm not gonna trump her. I'm like, tell me exactly what you're about to tell me, because that's important to know. It's about the new Avenue roof. It's a nice ass brick house.
I'm just looking for someone to do it. Checking out. Yeah.
I'm assuming you have a mortgage on this property still too.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we're not super far off. Things are sitting on the market quite a while there. There are some things selling in the low twos right now.
Here's where I'm educating her.
What do you think the best you'd be able to do is if I could cover all the closing costs also? Those usually like, 10%. I can close on your timeline also.
Okay, so what would be the best that you can offer me?
All right, so right there, she's trying to flip the script on me and like get me to give her a number, but you always want them to give you the number.
That's what I was asking. Is kind of what I know you're at 220, but what do you think realistically you'd be okay with? If I can close when you want to close on your timeline, and I'll cover all closing costs. You're not gonna have any commissions, anything like that.
Again, it's 215.
See, like she gave me the number. She had to discount because if not, if you give them the number and they agree, like they might feel bad about their decision later. They'd be like, they lowballed me. I agree, but I don't like it. But they give you the number and you agree, like you're just doing what they asked.
So all of the things don't mind me asking.
192, I think.
Sure. You have a good interest rate?
What's that?
You have a good interest rate?
I think it's there.
Comps that were scaring me, just so you know, I'm in between 200 and 215 for like a wholesale. And like a good one, it's a $280,000 house. But I don't want to hang on to it for 90 days. So I'm trying to get a little more of a buffer. Just to see if I could sell this thing quicker. Because I only like to hold on to stuff like 60 days. And the stuff I'm looking at 280 is taking like 80 days. But that's why I'm trying to see if I can come up with another backup solution.
Depending on what you
Do what?
depending on what you get it for, do you do anything else with it? Because I know there's a lot of other options. There's wholesaling, there's sub two, or you're not even mess with that. You're just trying to get it in and get it out.
I do whatever fits and whatever makes the best sense. So right now, I've got my cash price locked in. Like she's already told me she'll do it. But she's, I'm like, man, she bought this like 10 years ago. I bet she got a good interest rate, which she does. She got a 3%. So I'm like, hey, would you be open to me buying this sub two, which I'm about to do, because I want to see if she's open to that, because that's a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah, because a
Yeah.
lot of these sub twos, everybody's hunting that interest rate, and some of them make sense, but I've seen most of them they kind of don't. With the whole entry fee and closing costs and all that. I mean, you can do way more with with that money, in my opinion.
It's got to be right. It's got to have equity. It's got to, in my opinion, it's got to have equity and it's got to have cash flow. I don't buy a ton of sub two. I'll lock them up if the shoe fits, but I'm not going to just lock it up because it's a good interest rate.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them that people just fork out all this money for, and there's no equity, and there's like $100 of cash flow.
Doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense to me.
You need like at least 25% equity. I would say 30% equity, because that way you could refi it if you got in a bind and you needed to do a refi with a bank. They're gonna,
Yeah, exactly.
you need equity, or if you don't have equity, you need a ton of cash flow.
And when like that one I just did a one in Corpus, and instead of taking out a whole mortgage, I left 25% in the deal.
Yeah.
And it's still cash flowed, but I have that little 25% in there. And I see a lot of these sub twos where these people are asking 35,000 plus closing costs for a 2 interest rate and $100 of cash flow. And there's no equity. Yeah, there's no equity in there.
Only way that makes sense is if it's a new product, like a new house maybe, in a very appreciating area. If you're talking about Florida, where like values double every freaking 3 years, maybe. But Corpus, San Antonio, it still ain't happening. Austin, maybe. But yeah, no, I agree with you, dude. That's why I want to do this community. I want to teach people and like-minded people like good deals, how to like what to look for, what to do. But right now, what I got on the table is potential sub two. So I'm about to feel her out on what she owes and all that stuff to see if that's good. I've got a cash deal that'll work as a wholesale. I don't think I can wholesale it because I didn't subtract my fee out of that. This is straight up, like I'd have to buy it and resell it. But it's cool because if I buy and resell a property, the minimum I want to make is 30 grand. So that's what I shoot for, depending on the purchase price. If it's really expensive, it needs to be more. Like I was looking at a I don't know what the hell it was, $1.5 million property in Florida. Well, I need to make a lot more than 30 grand on that, buy and resell it. But anyway, here we'll finish this. Or do you have any more questions on that?
No, I didn't.
Justin, you good?